Hello guys, good evening. Welcome to this edition in this series. In this edition, we will talk about Dockerizing the Express API just like we did with the React application. So it was a web application React, but now we want to look at how to Dockerize the Express application. I mean, if you know the JavaScript framework so much, you know that React is actually just the UI, and then the Express is majorly used for the API stack, but it doesn't mean you can't do the API on someone else. But today I've just written an application, just a basic Express API application. So let's just go and Dockerize, and once we've done that, we'll just take it through the pipeline, because once we get the Docker, we'll push the Docker to the GitLab repository, and then from here we just pull it through into the pipeline, and then just actually run it, just exactly what we've done with the React in this series. So let's dive in and see what's cooking. So I'm just going to cancel this one out. Before now, as we said, if I just max this out, you can see that here is the React one, and then within this you can see that we have a React Dockerization that we've done. So let's just go and see how we can do that for API. So within our VS Code here, guys, we have the application I talked about. This is, I've called it a tutorial, because this React CRUD web application is essentially just for it's just for a tutorial application that I made, and then this is the service that comes with it. Let's have a quick walkthrough here. There's nothing so strange here. It's just simply just an Express API that has basic. I mean, you can just get this code pushed up, so you can get it there as well. So just run on port 8080, and what else does it do? It just says, hey, welcome to SynID microservice, or whatever. You just hello world, and then when you go in here, you can see that it has routes here. These are different routes that we have. If you want to get all the tutorials, if you want to create a tutorial, if you want to get all the tutorials that's already created, once it's created, it can be published. Here is get it with the ID. This is to update the tutorial, and then this is to delete tutorial, and then this one is also to delete all of the tutorials as well. Everything is just routing here, and that's it, really, nothing much. If you go in here, this is just written with a basic JavaScript, the EX6 thing, but this is the model. There's no big deal here, just talking about tutorial. And then if you go here, you can see this is the connection things, and here is the controller. Nothing much, again, just like the basic logic. I mean, you can come and find the code if you want it, but you don't need to understand this code to actually just follow along. Today as well, I've just sort of commented of reading from the from the process.env parameter. I just hard coded this because I'm going to, for the database sake, I'm just going to create a basic MongoDB application here. So I'm just going to take the latest, create a .compose, and then within this .compose, I'm just going to keep it basic and simple. And because there's nothing to Dockerize, I'm just taking it literally what they've got, the latest, and just spin it up. And I am spinning it up with just Docker Compose. Once it's up, it will generate this URL that you saw a few minutes ago, which obviously is going to be running on a local. And here, if you notice, I've just said it should bridge with the system, so that once this compose is up, the database will be running. It will just bridge with the machine. That means I can just find it on a local host easily. And I'm just going to call the database a tutorial database. The other thing you can notice as well is I haven't mapped any volume. I don't want to mess up this whole place. The little volume that Docker will give me should really be enough to do whatever I want to do. So for now, but you and I know that if you want to productionize this, you need to do more. But this is just to show you really a very microcosm of what happens. So let's go. So I'm going to close everything here, and then we can begin the coding. So the first thing we need to do is to go to here and just open up this terminal. So I've just changed directory into this path where we got this Docker Compose. So if I cut this Docker Compose out, you can see what is in there again, just to confirm that this is what we got. What I'm going to do now is to see the Compose up. I'll just bring it up, and I'll just detach. So this is running. Actually, if you want to see whether it's running, we can just do Docker log, and then we just go to MongoDB, just see, and you can kind of see that this is now actually spun up. So things are working. I haven't actually enabled password or username things. I've just default things because I want to really be quick with this. But it is running. So if I check it one more time, you can see. You can also tail this if you want, but this is running. So now that it's running, I am within this directory here. So what I want to do is to probably just come out and just go and start up the API. At least we can just have a feel of what it looks like for a start. So on the API is called a tutorial service. We are within here. Let's come out of that now. I'm just going to come out one step, just come out, and then now we can just go into the tutorials API service. So here we are. Again, on the tutorial API service, you can see some of the files we got in there. These are some of the files we got, like as we said. So we're going to clear this out. Now that we clear this out, I'm just going to start the service. One thing I need to show you quickly is the package.json here. So here, how do we start this up? These are all just this one, and this one is just the same. But we can just use this one for now. I can take this out. But for this is just what I want to do. I want to start this up. What will happen is it will just start up node server.js, which is just this. And if you know Express, that's how you actually start it up. So let's go and do that. So I'll just go here and say npm. Obviously, the first thing is to npm install. If you haven't installed everything there, that's installed. So the next thing is to do npm run whatever thing you so say start API, press and enter. So that's started, and then actually here you can see that it's connected to the database. That's the code I wrote, so that once it's connected, I will know that everything is connected in. So actually showing you just one more time. Oh, here you can see it says connected to the database, and that's a good thing, really good sign. So now that this is connected, you can just use any of the tools you like to kind of query this API, something like Postman, whatever. But also, I mean, if you want to make your life easier, you can also spin up this UI. Maybe we can actually just go and do that. Let's open up a new tab again. So here I'm just going to open up a new tab, go to this, and just get into that tab. So I'll say Pipe Basics. I just get in here, and within here, let's go and start up the React. So I'll just get into the React CRUD application. Yes, again, I'll just do npm run npm install, just in case it's not installed. Press and enter. And once this is up, so here you go. So that's getting up, and hopefully it should install. So the next thing we should do now is to actually just run, so say start. I think it's start UI. If I actually, let's go and find out. Let's just be sure, certain that what we're doing. So we go here and then come here. So that's start UI. I think start UI can do that. Let's try that and see if it's going to bring this up. So this is starting development server as well. That's started successfully. Now that it's started, it just says if you make your way to this address here, you can kind of see that this is now fully started. So let's open this up, let's press and enter. There you go. So things are fully started. There's nothing on the database. You can, if you want, you can just try it. I haven't tried that though, but you can just try and enter some things and try to submit. Yes, submit successfully. Now if you now go and say show courses, you can see that okay, everything works. Let's enter something else. That's how you use this application. This application is also online as well. So if you just enter something like, because it's tutorial, so let's say we're talking about DevOps course. So let's say DevOps, we create a course. So let's say develop for beginners. I'll say for beginners here, and I'll just put some description about the develop course, and you submit. There you go, it's gone in. So if I go and show courses, you see, if I click on this, it tells you that this course is developed for beginners, and this is the description, but the status is pending. It's not published. If you want to publish, you can just go in here, and then you can publish this course. Once it's published, you come over here and press on it. You see that this course is published. Okay, but whereas this one we created previously wasn't published. So that's all, most of the features. The other thing is you can also delete this one. If I click on it, I can just get rid of this as well. I mean, I can create one more quickly here and just say, oh, sorry, let's just use sensible thing. Let's say test automation. Okay, test automation, and I'll just create some things here and just say submit. Good, one more time. So if I come back here now, here, edit this as well, I can update this, maybe like get some sensible things. So if I go to my real website, actually just go to my course, my website, and just get like there's some description of test automation course or courses. So here we are. This is my website. So what I'll do, I just probably like get Cypress course description. I'll just copy this and put it in here just to update this, and I'll say update. Now that this is updated, if you click on this, oh sorry, so if I just test automation, where did I update? Yeah, this is where I done the update. So it has the full update here as well. You can also kind of delete if you want. You can but if you did, you can also unpublish. Now that it's unpublished, if you go back, you see that it's still pending. You can also clear the whole thing out as well. But one thing you can notice is everything is now flowing through down to the database. So you can see database is fully connected. If you go and query that database again, you can just do Docker if you want to see really Docker logs on the database. You will begin to see that things will be streaming into this database. You can see here this Node.js is noticed that Node.js and is taking records. You can also view it whichever way you like. You can use something like MongoDB Express thing to like visualize it or whatever it is you want to do. But that's not the whole point. Now let's go to the real action for today, which is to actually now Dockerize this REST API, because for now we've Dockerized the React. So let's close all this through. So close everything down. Okay, so the first thing we need to do is to get into this service. Okay, so let's Dockerize this now. Just right click on this and just go Docker. Just actually the convention is to start with Dockerfile in capital letter. I mean, you can also add like prod, press and enter if you want to. So this is it now. It's now quite blank and there's nothing within. So the first thing we need to do is again just to take from base image. It's always the case that, as we said, every time you want to Dockerize something or write a Dockerfile, it's got to start from another image. So this is the first question you really ask yourself is this Express, what does it run on? As you can see, it's a Node application. So we take a Node, and what version? Usually in the industry, we all go with Alpine, because Alpine is the node, the version of the node that is actually just lightweight because of image sizes and things. So I've tried version 21 actually. So I would say version 21 Alpine. Yeah, it is coming up, and I can take some flavors here. This version behind this one is the version for Alpine itself. So this is it. Well, if you like, again, as we said, you can save this as something. Probably you can just say API, but mind you, we're not doing multi-stage, but this doesn't hurt if you want to do that. Right, so taking the first image as a baseline image, and then the next thing again, I always encourage you to do working directory. So this working directory is where, so you, the major reason you do this is so you know where you are all the time. So whatever you want to call this, maybe you can call this as a microservice or like app or like API, whatever. So here we'll just call this as app. Okay, so that's your what happens here is that it will create this directory, and it will switch into it and stay within there. It's like make a directory and change directory into that place. That's what it will do. So now that it's within this app directory, the next thing I want to do really quickly is to set up environment. So I just do env and I'll set up key value. So the env that I usually set is the path. If you notice all my Dockerization, I always ensure that it's set up. If it's not set up, so long as you know what you're doing, you're still fine. So I want to set it up from home path, which is the app at the top at line number 3. So that app, but that's where I'll copy in my node underscore modules, because that's one I always want them to be within the slash bin. That's where my things, my runnables are. And that's what I want to be my running path. So where I want this to be mapped up is the system path. So now what this means now fully is that this is now in the working directory. So this path is now on the system path, which means even if I'm within here, which I am, I would be able to execute anything and it will find these things, these libraries that it's using or packages. Okay, so that's done. So now we're gonna like declare, so that's environment variable. The next EM variables I want to talk about is like ports, basic port where I want to expose these things. So when we run this, we expose it at port 8080. Let's have a look. You can put it on anywhere actually. So but this says it's on port 8080. Maybe we can use that one because that's where this thing is listening. And then this UI as well, I can cancel this UI actually. We don't need it for the time being. So this is now on port 8080. One more thing, I mean, some people would then go ahead and declare like MongoDB URL underscore URI or URL, whatever you want to call it, and declare that path here. Well, I wouldn't do that tonight because people that do this would always hard code the value. And it's a bad practice actually. Let me emphasize on that because there's been some bad practices that I've been talking about as well. But please, on no account should you put your keys within the Docker image or something like that. So for instance, maybe now that the application, we know that Mongo database is running, and then when we did it, we had coded it within the so if I go in here, I think we had coded that within the config file. Here it is. So some people, you would see people that would go and actually just hard code this here. If you do that like this, system will still take it anyway, whatever your URL, but this is a bad practice. So what some people do is to put some placeholder here and then probably just take a parameter. But tonight, I am going to be really serious. I'm not going to do that at all. But if you want to do that, that's fine. So now let's do the remaining thing, which is about copying. So in copy, what do we need to do? Just like we did with React, we're going to copy all the essential things we need within this app directory here. Okay, because this is app, and then so I think I might call this a different name. So let's call this something like microservice, like that. So this is microservice, and I'm going to just put it here just to be safe. So the first thing we want to copy really would be, let's copy, I always like to copy package.json first. So here I will say package.json here. I'll copy this and I'll just move this into this directory here. So I just move it within here. That's easy. So now that I've copied this and moved it into here, into that directory, I want to copy the main file now here, press enter. So the main thing I want to copy now is to copy this app and then copy it within this microservice. So I just say copy app, which is this app again one more time, and I'm going to copy within here. So I just put this here and I will say because it's two things now that I'm copying. So I'm copying all of this directory and I'm copying that here. Yeah, so that's that. And then what's the last thing really I want is to copy this server, which is important in Express. So just say copy, and I'll copy. So I'll copy that, and I'll just say server.js. Those are the basic ones that I need, and I'll just copy it here. Easy. So these are just the three things really that I need. So I'm copying that, I'm copying this, and I don't need this because this is like I can always recreate this from this file. What else? This one is the actual Docker doing the thing. I don't need the ignore file. It's only here just to make sure some rubbish files are ignored. Here is the development URL for the database and for this. I mean, one thing I didn't really mention is that for this service, it needs these two minimum thing to actually just run, which is you need to tell him the port it should be running, and you need to tell him the Mongo URI, which is where your database your database lives, the address of the database. An example you can see in this one has a password in production. It has this username, and it's going to talk to this place, and it's something, just a sample. And also, if you go to readme as well, please go to the readme rather than just listen to me of all these things that I'm talking about, and just see I have made a clear note how these things run. Clone this repo, go to, but you can see where I have specified that these are just the two minimum things you need to get this API running anyway. And also I listed out the like endpoints of the API and things you want to do. So please just clone this repo and have a go with it anyway. Okay, so now that I've talked about this, now we've finished with we're done with all the copyings. I'm going to close this one, close this one. So we're done with all the copying now. What we want to do now is that we want to restore the packages that we need. So here we'll say run here again, just like previous time we'll say run install. You can do -f or -force. So that will then restore the packages within the Docker, which is this. You haven't copied it, but it will just restore it because it is already within this directory, and that's where the package.json lives, and it will just restore that here there. So now that is restored, I want to open up the ports now, because here I have like added a port. So I want to open it up from the Docker. So I'll say open up port. Again, we're saying let's do it on port 8080. So again, just quickly, this port, I'll just tap to take this. Auto completion is helping me tonight, so you can see. So this port here is you telling Docker to make this port open so that people can connect into the Docker through this port 8080 to access this application. Basically, it's just what you said. Okay, so that's done. This would then start up this server. If you go to package.json, this is how to start up the server. It's just do, but you can see that it's still the same as well. I mean, if you like, you can do npm start API as well. It's one and the same. But I'd like to actually further customize this. I'd like to actually be able to pass this database URL or URI within this parameter as I'm running this. And the way I can do that is I can just come here and just say you can pass something at the runtime. So what did we call it? Here we have said that this is going to be called as Mongo. Let's find that again just one more time. It's going to be called, just make sure it's the same name here. It is going to be called MongoDB _URI. That's what it's going to be. Well, because you're passing this now, you now need to make this and I think I now need to like put it together now so that it will understand that I need to run this. So rather than separate them together, but what is important is that because we're on Alpine usually default to sh shell terminal, and so I'll say use this shell to do that, to run it on that shell thing, and then as we normally do to separate them, I'll say -c. So this would trigger shell terminal to be accessible, and it will just run this. And this will just inject this parameter within here, because this Express API would be, each time you start this, it will be looking for the value for this. It will just take it here, and then when it comes here and it tries to connect, you can see here it goes and it looks for this URL. I'm just calling the URL here, but it's URI. And then it goes further to find it down here. So I would have to comment this off and just put this on, because this is the process.em.this. It will just take it on. I just left this one there just for the sake of demonstration, but this is what it is anyway. So that's us done. That's how to actually Dockerize an Express API, and that is taking parameter at the runtime. So now that everything is done, so I'll just close everything down and we can just go and run that. So let's go to terminal and let's go into the, where is the Express one? This is still running. We need to cancel this. So that's cancelled now. So I'll just do clear this terminal and then just make sure that everything is there. Sorry, that's LA. Oh, sorry, LS. LA. Here you go. So we are within that service. I'll just clear this down and then run here. And I'll say, so I'll say Docker build. Okay. So here, whatever it is you've called it again, as we said, you need to target probably, let's say API here. And then we're going to specify the file, which is Dockerfile. Just to be clear one more time, we just go here. This is tutorial service. It's going to find Dockerfile and it will just take it to run. So this is what we want to do. And again, once you change directory within this directory here, it is going to be, context will be dots here, like this. So that's that. And this one is just tagging to tag, to give it a name, basically. So let's build this and let's see, let's hope for the best. Yeah, this build is done. This is really quick. So now let's check if the Docker is there. So what I'm going to do, actually, just because this is taking up the whole space, I'll just bring it here so you can see it clearly. So I'll say Docker images, press and enter. So it will list out all the images, but you can see if you scroll to the top, you see the latest image is called API, and then it goes, it says this is the latest, which is the tag, and then it carries on, carries the image ID, the one that is within the tag. This is tag, image ID is this one, and then this was created 9 seconds ago, and then the version, sorry, the size locally is 319. Okay, that's good. I mean, you can try and cut it down and do some manipulation, but that's for topic for another class. So this is done now. The next thing we need to do is to actually push this to a registry somewhere. Maybe for now we can push it to Docker Hub registry. So let's push it there. So what we'll do is to actually do clear, and then so let's push to Docker Hub registry. So I'll say Docker tag. We just now need to retag this to the name. A registry, as we said the other day, is the account is on send development or whatever your account name is, and just give it whatever you want it to be called. So let's say here would be up there, I want to call it tutorial service, whatever, and then it will be latest, and I want to call this that's what it should be. And then this one was called locally, the one we have locally is called API latest. Press and enter. That should now be tagged. So if I do Docker images, press and enter, well, if it is too many, you can just do a grep. So here now you can see there is now send development tutorial service, the same size here with the previous one. Here you can see that's the same size. And then again, you just do Docker login again. Please, when you do Docker login, just don't do like me, like this, and specifying everything. What I'll tell you to do is just get your password, because you're not supposed to be exposing your password like that. What I'd like you to do is to probably just go with the option of taking off your password, because you don't want people to see that. Do that, then it will ask you for your password, and you can enter your password and press an enter. That will then log you in. So that is better in terms of security. But obviously I'm just showing you everything. So here we are now logged in to our Docker registry. Just an example, because we are doing that locally. Docker registry is still open source and it's open there. You can just get it anytime or log in there and see it. So now let's push it up. So it's do Docker push, whatever they will tag that. We just call that, I think we called it tutorial service. Can tab and it completes. And if you push this now, it would begin the process to push it upstream. So let's go upstream and log in and see. So let's go to, again, the same account. So just log in to it here. Just do that. And I'll just log in here. All right, so we're now waiting for this to come up. This is the previous one we looked at the other day. If you click on it, you kind of see this now. So if we click, you see what we've done the other day. This is the previous one. So let's go back and see if the other one is complete. There you go. That one is here now. So you can see the image is now less than a minute ago. And this, if we check here, this is now complete. So this is manually doing this now. This is Dockerizing Express API application. Thank you so much, guys. Thank you.